Hi, I'd like to share with you a practice technique that I love to use in a lot of pieces, but specifically today I'm going to apply it to the slow opening section of Gabriel Faure's Fantasie for flute. So in this opening section, we have these really long melodies, and what I like to do in this case, especially as this phrase progresses, some of the interval leaps get quite wide and we have some octaves and things that come up. And what I like to do is sing and play while I'm doing that. So the first section that I'd like to play for you, it's about measure, I'll do the pickup into measure 16. So if you haven't ever tried singing and playing before, what I'm doing is not singing exact pitches. I'm just going to sing a low pedal tone or a held note that has nothing to do with the harmony or the pitches above. There are other contexts in which we sing and play and we try to sing the exact same pitch. That would be called throat tuning. So you're tuning your throat to resonate with the pitch. There are also cases where in extended techniques situations, we might use singing and playing to play in thirds with ourselves or to scream while we're playing, like happens in the work of George Crumb. But in the context that I'm advocating for here, I would say just sing a note that feels comfortable in your body. And since we're all individual, that will be very different for everyone. But my note, ooh, is somewhere around there. Ooh. And that note feels really comfortable to me. I found this note by playing through a bunch of scales and seeing what note felt right to me. So if you don't come up with it right away, you do have to make some ugly noises or interesting noises at least until you come up with this note for yourself. But a little basic on singing and playing, the way I like to teach it is that you actually first ooh, hum a note, ooh, and then you try blowing and humming at the same time. Ooh. You could put your hand up in front of your mouth and feel the air coming out. Ooh. You can also try whistling. Ooh. And whistling and humming at the same time. You can experiment with that when you're walking around your neighborhood. Get some funny looks that way. But then what I would recommend is using your finger to kind of create the pressure. Once you hit this pressure point, your mouth will probably make an embouchure. Ooh. And then once your embouchure, or your flute face as I like to call it, once your embouchure muscles kick in, you can work on just the blowing and the humming first. Then you can sneak up on yourself and sort of make a noise. If it's still not working, you can try the flute backwards and sneak up. Or you could try just using the head joint alone to try to make that initial singing and playing noise. And it will take some practice until you can maintain a consistent humming pitch. But I'll demonstrate now into measure 16. I would just sing a pitch and be ready. And at first you might have more success initially if you hum ahead of time. So you're humming a little early. But then I would just play this passage, and I'll just do short passages as I'm recommending that you do. Also, I'm going to play it without the articulations the first time through. That link into that low C is some of the most difficult playing, and we definitely want our airstream to not be broken up as we're doing that. Even if we're breathing, if we separate the phrase by breathing, we want our air to continue. And that's what this exercise will check. It will also give you kind of a litmus test for what your mouth is doing, what your airstream is doing, as I already said, and maybe even what your body is doing. You might feel your shoulder compress a little. You might feel something in your posture change. So by humming and playing or singing and playing, you'll be able to find all these things on your own without your teacher's help. And that's what I always hope, is that my students become able to be their own teachers. So I hope that hint was helpful, and I hope you'll come back and find out about the next section of this passage in my next video.